Welcome to the Folktale Project. This is Dan Scholes. Today we have our final Chinese fairy tale of the week, and this one stars, well, as we so often find in the Chinese fairy book, an ogre, and in this instance, a dedicated hunter of that ogre. This is the Flying Ogre. There once lived in Xianfu an old Buddhist monk who loved to wander in lonely places. In the course of his wanderings he once came to Kuku-Nor, and there he saw a tree which was 1,000 feet high and many cords in breadth. It was hollow inside, and one could see the sky shining down into it from above. When he had gone a few miles, he saw in the distance a girl in a red coat, barefoot and with unbound hair, who was running as fast as the wind. In a moment, she stood before him. "Take pity on me and save my life," she said to him. When the monk asked her what was the trouble, she replied, "A man is pursuing me. If you will tell him you have not seen me, I will be grateful to you all my life long." With that, she ran up to the hollow tree and crawled into it. When the monk had gone a little further, he met one who rode an armored steed. He wore a garment of gold, a bow was slung across his shoulders, and a sword hung at his side. His horse ran with the speed of lightning, and covered a couple of miles with every step. Whether it ran in the air or on the ground, its speed was the same. "Have you seen the girl in the red coat?" asked the stranger. And when the monk replied that he had seen nothing, the other continued, "Bonze, you should not lie. This girl is not a human being, but a flying ogre. Of flying ogres there are thousands of varieties who bring ruin to people everywhere. I have already slain a countless number of them, and have pretty well done away with them. But this one is the worst of all. Last night the Lord of the Heavens gave me a triple command, and that is the reason I have hurried down from the skies. There are 8,000 of us under way in all directions to catch this monster. If you do not tell us the truth, monk, then you are sinning against heaven itself." Upon that, the monk did not dare deceive him, but pointed to the hollow tree. The messenger of the skies dismounted, stepped into the tree, and looked about him. Then he once more mounted his horse, which carried him up the hollow trunk and out the end of the tree. The monk looked up, and could see a small red flame come out of the treetop. It was followed by the messenger of the skies. Both rose up to the clouds and disappeared. After a time, there fell a rain of blood. The ogre had probably been hit by an arrow, or captured. Afterward, the monk told the tale to a scholar, who wrote it down. That is the Flying Ogre. I really like these stories of ogres that come from the Chinese fairy book. I like an ogre that isn't an ogre, that is really a representation of some kind of nature spirit. This is Dan Scholes for the Folktale Project. Don't forget that you can subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, Overcast, anywhere you like to get your podcasts. You can follow us on Twitter at Folktale Project. You can find us on Auto Radio, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, anywhere you like to listen. And you can always head over to folktaleproject.com, where you'll find a new story waiting for you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And don't forget that you can always help support the podcast over at patreon.com/folktaleproject, where for as little as $1 a month, you'll get early access to every story told, and a nice little present from me. Next week, we're headed to Russia for 3 new tales. As always, Thank you so much for listening.